Once upon a time, long time ago, there was some soldiers that got sent down to southern Asia. They don't know where exactly they was at because it was dark when they got there. But anyway, they was down there for some jungle training because there's lots of jungles down there. So when they got there, they were supposed to be there for a month. And 2 weeks of the training was supposed to be in camp, and then 2 weeks was supposed to be out in the jungle. So they done the camp part, and everybody passed. And so the lieutenant called them all together one morning. He says, "All right, now, man, this is the test right here. So you understand, you've gone through the course, and you've learned everything that you can learn at this time, but you got to go out and you got to get some experience. So you're going to be gone for 2 weeks, and you got your knife, and you got your compass, and all y'all ready to go." Oh, wait. There's one more thing. Here, just recently, it's been reported in this area that there's a new species of snake, or species, whatever you want to call it, of snake, and it's the most poisonous snake in the world. Now, if this snake bites you, just go ahead and sit down and say your prayers, because you're going to be dead within a minute. Amen. Now, the snake is easily recognized because it's got black and white stripes with splotches of orange. And so you'll be able to recognize it right away. Now, if you see the snake, you're supposed to avoid it as best you can. Walk around it or run from it or something. But if you have to, I mean, if you absolutely have to kill the snake, there is a way. And what you do is you sneak up behind the snake, and then you grab him up by his tail, and you put your thumb on his white belly, and you slide it up, and then right when you get to his jawbone, right there, you do this, pop, and you pop his head right off, pop, just like that. And now if you miss, if you don't get his jaw, then what's going to happen is he's going to swing down, he's going to bite you on the elbow or on the leg or something, and then just sit down and say your prayers, because you're going to be dead within the minute. Amen. All right, now if y'all don't have any more questions, then we'll see y'all in about 2 weeks. So fall out. And so the men opened up the envelopes, and they looked, and they took out their compasses, and they headed out in all directions. Well, about a week and a half later, that they started coming back in, and one a day or one or two a day, whatever. And then, but when the 2 weeks was up, they was all back in except this one. He didn't make it back in, and so they was all concerned. And so the next day they waited, and he didn't show up. And so that night the lieutenant called them all together, and he says, "Look here, tomorrow we're gonna get together. Y'all get your kit together. We're gonna go out and we're gonna recover the body. So y'all just get prepared." And so the next morning, they was all gathered, had formation. They was getting ready to go out, and they heard the noise, looked up the path, and there was that feller, and he was crawling. I mean, he was dragging himself back into camp. Well, a couple of guys grabbed him, and they took him over to the doctor. And he was there all morning, and the lieutenant went over there that evening, and he says, and he sees the man, and he's just, I mean, when he came into camp, he was just covered with blood, and his clothes was all a mess. It was awful. And so the lieutenant went over there that evening, and he was talking to him. He says, "So what happened, man?" And the guy says, "Oh, Lieutenant, it was awful. It was awful." He said, "I know it was awful, but tell me what happened." He said, "Well, I was walking along, and I had already met my objective, and I was on the way back. And so I was walking along this little path. It was a narrow path, and I had briars on both sides. And so I was walking along this path, and then I seen it out from behind this little leaf, and there was that snake right there. And I said to myself, well, I can't go around because there's briars everywhere. And so I said, I'm going to have to kill this snake. So I snuck up real careful, and I grabbed him up by his tail, and I put my thumb on his white belly, and just as I was to pop his head off, doggone it, I found my thumb up the butthole of the biggest tiger you ever have seen in your life."